Welcome to Lane Turo University. My name is Conrad Layn. I'm going to share an amazing super hack that most power hosts don't even know about. Turo doesn't even know about this, but I'm going to share a secret hack that's helped me earn additional wealth and income. And there's no arrogance intended. I started off with one car, went to 2 cars, went to 5 cars, went to 10 cars, went to 20, and went to now I'm currently at 35 cars that I rent independently. And I also rent through Turo. So I'm gonna share my hack and how it's helped other people as well. So I'm gonna share a secret with you. So take some notes, let's get right into it, people. So first and foremost, when you start a Turo business, from the bones of it, from the foundational aspect, most people think about getting a car, either through finance to own, if you already own a car outright, or buying a car outright, or leasing it, which is totally fine. It's great options. And you add it to a Turo platform, you list your car, and then from that point, you rent it to a Turo guest, which is i.e. a renter. Turo host allows access to a Turo renter, essentially. That's what a Turo guest is. There's a whole nother profitable way that you can make even more income that people miss and don't even consider because they don't understand even exist. Instead of renting to Turo guests, which that's how Turo's set up, so that's your plan B now. Essentially, that's your plan A, right? But now we just put that in the back burner for plan B, B for back burner. And plan A will be, how about you start renting to Turo host? Let that sink in. What I just say, let me repeat it one more time. Don't mean to be redundant. You can rent your cars to other Turo hosts. How do you do this, you say? Very easy. I highly recommend this strategy. You can do this even with 1 car. You can do this with 2 cars. You can do this 3 cars. My preference, in my personal opinion, where it's most profitable and makes the most sense, you have to have at minimum 10 cars. Minimum 10 cars, and even that, but 10 cars is typically the minimum. Really prefer about 15 to 20 cars. I have 35 cars. That's not me being arrogant. I'm just sharing the truth. I really do have 35 cars that I own myself. So if you own the car outright like I do, you have more control typically. The second best way is finance to own, where you're the registered owner, but there's a lien holder, either a banking institution or a dealership, etc. There's a lien holder that owns the car on paper, but you're the registered owner. That's the second best way. The third best way, that's the option, is if you lease a vehicle. You don't have any ownership in it. You're not a registered owner, but the dealership or the lien holder, whoever owns the car, leases the car to you. It's basically a long-term rental. That's what a lease is, essentially, when you think about it. They're renting the car to you and you rent it to someone else. There's usually more stipulations on it that finance to own person or the person that owns the car as a right does not have. So maybe there's a mileage cap. That's totally fine because you just make the Turo host that you rent this car to inherit the lease contract. How that means? So if they go over the miles and you're penalized and violate it and have to pay a fee for it, you make sure that's in the contract where the Turo host pays that to you. There's no problem, no foul, no play. So the reality is that's 3 of the top ways you can do it. You can build your fleet fairly fast. I have plenty of videos on YouTube. Been doing this for a long time, for over 5 years, on how to build a 20 car fleet fast, how to build a 10 car fleet fast. Just because you start with 1, you can end up with 10 later on and have them paid off. Very easy to do this, but what you must remember is this. Turo hosts can be your most profitable partner because they understand the game. Remember, they have a star rating. Most Turo hosts, to rent on the Turo platform, you have to have a minimum 4 stars. When you start getting to 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 stars, you can actually be banned if you don't meet your metrics like cleanliness. Like if you have a high cancellation rate, Turo can actually end your career essentially and ban your account, and that's it. So they're inclined to do well with your car. And remember, they're inclined to keep your car looking clean. So what this does for you, they pay for the cleanings, they pay for the vacuuming, they pay for the insurance. You just took all these fees. You took if you have to pay for parking, if you're in a city like LA, like I am, maybe you're in an area where you don't pay for parking, so you don't know about that. But if you do, no more parking for you. You're not paying insurance anymore. Typically, the tour hosts that you rent it to will pay for that. They'll pay for the cleaning. They'll pay for the gas, and they'll pay for the maintenance. No different than if you finance to own or lease a car. You still have the responsibility of taking care of the car, but now the tour host inherits all this, and you just get paid. This could be fairly profitable if you own, like I said, anywhere from 10 cars, 20 cars, or even more. This really works well for hosts like myself that own a wide variety of different cars. It really works well. I rent cars independently to people, but I also rent cars through Turo as well. And this works really well for tour hosts like that are in my position, but also works really well for dealerships that want to have other sources of income and revenue. Rental car agencies, mom and pop establishments that are rental car agencies, professional like name brand rental car agencies, anyone that just has a large capital of cars. It can even be an auction house that maybe has cars that are sitting and haven't been bought, and if they're good in good enough condition, they can actually rent them. Anyone who has access to many cars, if you just know a lot of people who have cars as well, maybe you have friends that have cars and they're sitting there and you're like, hey, can I get them and make a deal with you? You can rent these to Turo hosts. Pretty easy to find Turo hosts. You go on Turo, find a Turo host like myself, and communicate with us. You can rent a car from us. You can talk to us. You can advertise your business through Instagram, TikTok, etc. But most importantly, you can add your cars to the Turo platform to market them, show how beautiful they are, and then give these to Turo hosts. They see your page, they want the page, take good pictures of them. This is a super hack that people don't know because Turo is not set up like this. This is an unorthodox thinking outside the box way that I created and that I brought to the table, that and the way I'm actually thriving is, yes, I rent as a host on Turo, but I rent cars independently, but I also have a business where I rent cars to Turo hosts. And these cars must be per each Turo host. One car can only be listed under one Turo host, which makes sense. For example, if you're a host like me, all my cars I rent to Turo hosts are not listed under my account. You've probably driven them if you're renting. I rent a lot to Turo hosts, but the thing is this though, it's listed under their name and it's basically their car for Turo. So I have no control over it. So I give them full control. They pay me, and what happens is that if that VIN number is added again, I try to re-add it, it will not allow. So if you try to add a car on Turo that you're trying to rent to another Turo host, it cannot be added under two Turo hosts. Every Turo host can only add one car of one unique VIN number. That's good because Turo's monitoring, make sure there's no fraud going on and making sure that the car is not double listed. So once you add the car in, if you attempt to try to give it to a Turo host, make sure you unlist the car, because if you try to give it to another Turo host, they won't be able to add it on their Turo profile unless you unlist it from your Turo profile. But again, I don't even add them on Turo. I just get the cars, buy them, acquire them, and I rent them to Turo hosts. Done. And then they take care of it. They clean my cars. They're some of the best tenants. And I even work out deals where if it's beneficial to me and for them, I might even sell them the car. Because again, I own the car outright. So I have control. I could lease it to them. I can even set up a buy to own process. I could rent to own process. I could do whatever I want. I can keep the car, I can sell it. I'm in full control. So I'm still the actual owner of it. I'm the registered owner and I'm also the actual titled owner. So that's what you can do if you truly own the cars outright. But you can also do this if you finance to own as well. You have more control because you're the registered owner still, even though you're not the titled owner. And if you're a lease contractor, like where you have a lease agreement with someone, that's fine too. You still do the same transactions. You just have to be more careful because you don't want to violate your lease terms. Like if they go for mileage, if you're charged for that, you want to make sure you're not be paying for that, and make sure the Turo pays you for any violations. Make it clear on the set rules that the Turo is supposed to follow. And Turo's really good about that too. If you go over mileage, they'll pay you. So it's good to be consider that. Anyways, that's a master hack, a master class that I just shared with you on how to reinvent the Turo wheel, where Turo's not built like that, but you can use in this fashion to really provide a service to Turo hosts. Remember, Turo hosts like you and I, typically, if you have good credit, you thrive and you get as many cars as you want. But what about Turo hosts that don't have good credit or don't have the best credit? Or what if they're a Turo host who has good credit, but they have so many debt obligations on file with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, right? Maybe they can't get any more car loans through their business, or maybe they don't have a good Dun & Bradstreet score if they're running a business with business credit. Maybe they have so many loans that banks don't want to give them any more loans. A lot of hosts are also debt heavy too, where they have a lot of cars, but they have a lot of loans. So now when they try to get another loan, they can't get it or get declined, even if they have a perfect record and perfect pay history, because they have too much credit. There's too much debt. So the banks don't feel comfortable. So they don't. So you get to a point where you have so much debt, banks will stop giving you loans. You'll stop getting car loans. Even if you have perfect credit, you have a 740. You can have a perfect pay history, but you still will not get it on the business side or personal credit side because you have too many. So what this does, someone like me, if I could offer a Turo host a car who's in that situation, wants to keep expanding, but they are tapped out and capped pretty much, I could charge them for that. And I can even charge them more because I know the situation. That's the reality of it. It's really up to you. So it's pretty cool. You also provide a service to people that cannot get any more car loans either because they have good credit and they're tapped out and capped, or they actually are at a point where they actually are so like involved in debt where they can't get out of it, and you're the option for them. Or they have really bad debt where they have bad credit and they need assistance. If they do that and everything, you can actually help them build their credit, because now you're giving them an expansion plan to be able to earn income so they can pay their debts off and build their credit worthiness. And that's the beauty of it. So always remember and do your absolute best to understand this is a master hack. And what you can do essentially is allow for tour hosts to rent from you to provide them opportunity to be able to be granted access into more vehicles and expansion. This also works really well if there's a new tour host who maybe has bad credit or good credit, but wants to expand past one car. Maybe they got one car, right? They're a new host, right? Never done this before. Or maybe they have really bad credit. If they have bad credit or good credit, if they have one car or 10 cars or 11 cars, you can help give them 10 more cars, 20 more cars, 30 more cars. If you're a tour host who has a lot of cars, if you're a dealership, a rental car agency, a city, a water, an auction house, someone that has a lot of cars that you can access and you have control of, you can provide such great opportunities for new tour hosts and expand so many different deals to them and help them grow in such an efficient and exponential manner. Think about it, absorb it. Welcome to Layn Tik Tok University. Ciao.